Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. And we have the wonderful, very witty and charming co-host himself, Paul Vato. Hey, Paul, what's rolling and shaking, man?
Howdy. I'm freezing. It's still winter in Las Vegas, but it is getting warmer and warmer, but it's still a little chilly. But I'm so glad to be here. It's a wonderful way to spend the evening, and it's great to see everyone back. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And don't put your umbrella away yet, Paul, because you never know how the weather's going to be. But we have some very special VIPs in the building tonight, and I'm so excited. I was looking forward to this all week. We have Deborah Richards with Cookie. Film director Deborah Richards is a four-time regional Emmy Award winner and creative storyteller with 30 plus years of experience in the digital arts. And she is known as a Swiss Army knife of filmmaking skills. She's a writer, director, cinematographer, and editor who loves to explore different genres with each new project. Originally from England, Deborah's a longtime Las Vegas resident, former bartender, bartending champion, world bartending champion, dog owner, and passionate advocate for the arts. Welcome, Deborah.
Hey, and I feel like we need a bio for Cookie.
Yes, the Cookie, the number one dog star who has replaced Lassie, our Hollywood favorite, and now our number one star in the canine realm, Supreme, Cookie.
Yay!
Wonderful. And then I also want to introduce Patrick Wirtz. He's an amazing producer who works behind the scenes, but he's just an incredible guy. He is a producer, location manager, director, and has studied at University of UNLV in Las Vegas as business partner with Deborah Richards for the 1905 production studio. They've created many projects as a team, such as Move Me No Mountain, which we're going to talk about tonight, Send Hollywood My Love, Dark Lights, and currently they're working on the documentary Shaken and Stirred. Ooh, that's cool. As a well-established producer, Patrick, his productions include Hush, The Artist and the Plotter, Brown Bag, The Assignment, and others. And he is also an Emmy Award director, and he directed No Greater Odds.
Just nominated.
Oh, nominated. Thank you. Nominated. But for the film Sharp, Patrick held several roles. He was the location manager, unit production manager, and producer. And you can check out his producer's reel online. Welcome, Patrick. Hello.
Great. I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here with you, AJ and Paul. Thank you.
This is so wonderful. Well, tonight, let's jump right into it. We're talking about Move Me No Mountain. And this is the blockbuster new feature film. I've got my hat here. I'm going to put it on.
Woohoo, look at that, repping with the merch.
Look at how great this looks. I mean, my gosh, you can't get any better than that, can you?
I love it. I believe we're gonna start selling them soon on our website, but they're not available yet. So you gotta scoop there.
Yes, and this is so wonderful. And what I love about this, Deborah, is look at the detail. Not every of the hats have this, but this has this cool design that you and Patrick thought about. And I love it. And I've also got my Move Me No Mountain cup here. Look at that.
Nice, excellent. I don't even have a hat or mug. I don't know what my hat is. And I don't think I ever had a mug.
Yeah, you have a mug. You have two of them around your house somewhere. I saw them. Yeah.
I do?
Yeah. Next time I come over, I'll have to dig them out for you.
Okay.
This is amazing. Well, Paul, did you want to say anything before I dive into all my questions? I've got a lot of questions here, but go ahead, Paul.
Well, my question I think was already answered. I was like, "Ooh, where can I get a hat like that?" So I can't wait for those to come online, and I can pick one up. And I have so many questions about Debbie's bartending and where you bartended in Vegas, because it's such an exciting place to be. But maybe later on we can answer those questions.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me just dive right into it then. Thank you, Paul, so much. We are talking about Moving a Mountain. So I've got some film analytical kind of questions here. I want to talk about the montages in Move Me No Mountain that you did. And can you share with us how important they were to you? Give us a few examples of some of the montages that you are super proud of, Deborah.
I like there's a kind of surreal montage in a swimming pool when the main character dives in and she belly flops in and she's going through a lot, and so we kind of get a little bit surreal with the imagery in the montage, so that it evokes, you know, kind of what she's going through and what she's feeling. And I really like that. You know, I love I love the subjectiveness of montages, and the way you can play with time, and the way you can really kind of put in a lot of information in a short amount of time with one. So yeah, but I definitely like going, you know, excuse the pun, but going off the deep end and with the pool and the surrealness with that scene.
And it was wonderful. And Patrick, you were part of the music selection. You know, there was a whole process of selecting music for that scene, and you voted for the very particular wonderful track by Rachel Delgado. Isn't that right? Tell us about that. And what did that mean to you?
Well, you know, it's a beautiful track and it works perfectly for the scene. And you know, there was other options to use more famous people. You know, people who are more established and names that we know, such as other people on the soundtrack like Donovan, the Pixies for the festival run. Susie Quattro has two tracks on it. David Cruson, the drummer from Pearl Jam, has two tracks that no one's heard before on the soundtrack. So when we chose the Rachel's Delgado song, I mean, her band Earth Rising, one, it worked perfectly for the scene. Two, she's a Las Vegas based artist, and this is a Las Vegas based film, totally. Bringing, you know, a part of the city no one's ever seen before out to the public, you know, in a movie. So it was great to have someone based in Las Vegas to have at least one track on the soundtrack. And if you know Rachel, she's an amazing woman, beautiful artist, amazing, amazingly talented. So it was like almost like a no-brainer that we would push for the song because, like I said, it worked perfectly. She's Las Vegas based, and we really respect her as an artist and as a person too.
Yeah, it really suits that scene. Absolutely. In fact, I've rewatched that scene a couple of times because the music and the blue water and everything that you and Deborah, you know, created together on that and brought together, it's very emotional. So speaking of emotion, that's my next question. What important psychological and emotional themes did you want to convey or have your audience go through when you watch this? What do you want them coming away from feeling deep down inside? Deborah, over to you first.
Well, I think coming away from it that you know, the underlying message is one of hope, that you know, no matter how dark things get, there's always, you can't always change the beginning of the story, but you can start where you are and change the end. And I think that's, you know, what happens to the main character in this film, that through happenstance and circumstance and self-inflicted punishment, she ends up in a situation where a new beginning is presented. And I think that's a common theme in life, that no matter how bad things get, often from places we least expect is a lifeline or a ray of hope and a new direction.
Absolutely. Now there's some loss in it as we experience with one of the characters. I don't want to give it all away, but there is a little bit of loss there, and the hope of coming through that. That's the message, right, Deborah?
Absolutely. The no matter how no matter how dark things are, you know, the dawn is always brighter.
Right. I love that answer. And Patrick, for you, what were the psychological and deep emotions and themes that were important to you, that you connected with as a producer, and you said, you know, this is important, this has got to stay, this scene, or what did you love about it? Talk to us about your feelings.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of things happen in the film that can be considered very bleak and tragic. But like Deb said, it's ultimately a story of hope. Even if all of us have never experienced anything as tragic as what our lead character Jenna has experienced, I think we all have things maybe we regret or have happened in our own past that seem insurmountable. But if you just sort of plug away, you meet new people as you continue on, your journey of life, and hopefully you can overcome that. And I think that's the hope. I mean, there's the hope. You're out there in the world. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of connections you're going to make. But if everything works out right, there is that chance that you can overcome those past feelings. And I just love that message that Deb wrote. I knew from the start, even before the story was finished, she was going for that. And I go, yes, let's do it. Let's do it in Vegas, make it a Vegas-based story. And it'll be something people haven't seen before. And I'm very proud of what, the end product is.
We are proud of it too. I'm part of the team and I love that. So honored to be a part of this great team. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Patrick, for including me. Paul, over to you. Did you want to make a comment or question?
Well, it's almost tough to say thank you for making the film in Vegas, and it's because more films should be made, and it's Debbie, it's your home, so it's great though that I know that a lot of people, even that though they live here, they might still go to Hollywood to make films or go elsewhere to make films, but it's amazing and it's wonderful that you were able to make it right here in our hometown of Vegas. So thank you guys for making it here. And you're right, it's such it's almost an homage to Vegas as well. And it's not just the Strip or Fremont Street.
Right.
It shows so many. It's like almost the city itself is another character in the movie. So thank you for doing that. And it's just so well shot, so beautifully shot. And I'm glad you guys touched on the soundtrack too, because that's also so amazing. Was happy and blessed to be at the premiere. So thank you for having me when you had that. So yeah, thank you guys.
You're welcome. And then it's funny because people often ask me, when are you going to move to Hollywood? And it's like, I love Vegas. I've been here 23 years. And Pat, let them know, how long have you been here, Pat?
Moved here when I was in junior high school.
There you go. So it's home to us, and we're proud of this city, and we love it.
And I just wanted to add that that's another thing that drew me to the story. I knew it would be a Las Vegas-based movie that didn't just focus on casinos or gambling or tourists, although obviously that's a defining feature of our city. But, all the great cities of the world have a cinematic history. New York City, you can think of classic New York movies and directors, Martin Scorsese and Sidney Lumet making New York movies. New Orleans, Chicago, Hollywood itself, Los Angeles, London, Paris. Each of them has a cinematic history, and I think Las Vegas is a great town, and it deserves its own cinematic history too. All facets of it, not just the obvious ones.
Yes, I agree. There is wonderful history. Paul, were you going to say something or?
No, that was it. I was just very grateful and amazed to see our city portrayed that way. So thank you. It's always fun to see Vegas, but you're right. A lot of films feature what's one of our main attractions, which is the gambling and the tourism. So it's refreshing to see a real story that's not just, it's set in the world of Vegas, but not on the Strip or in the big mega casinos or anything like that. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, we're really excited to show people, the whole part of Vegas, because we use every part of the Buffalo in this movie. We shoot on the Strip, under the Strip, in the tunnels, downtown, in the suburbs, in the desert, in the mountains. We really used every part of the Buffalo when we shot this, and I'm proud of that, because I don't think Vegas has ever been depicted in a movie like it has in our film, and for that I'm very excited.
Yes, this is wonderful. And Patrick, I loved what you said, and Deborah, I loved what you said. Deborah, you're actually wearing something from the movie, a necklace. Is that right? Can you tell us?
Oh, that's right. The mala beads, Gigi's mala beads. This is a prominent prop in the movie. So it's worn by one of the main characters. And I figured I'd wear it tonight for some luck.
Wonderful. And we love that. We appreciate that so, so much. A part of the prop department right here, we can see from the movie. Love that. And Patrick, you've got something behind you. I wanted to ask you, what is that beautiful screen behind you?
That's just a crocheted blanket my mom made. Yesterday was the anniversary of her death. 1 year, 1 year ago, she passed away. So it was just, yesterday was a little rough, but we did some. I went to Deb's. We did some spotting for our next movie, going over the interviews we recorded, and just heading focus on work. She would, I know she'd be proud of me of what we've done, and yeah, so it's just a little reminder of of her life and how she's inspired me. So yeah,
That's a beautiful thing.
It really is, Deborah. It's a lovely thing. And thank you for sharing that with us. And what a wonderful mom she is, Patrick, because she made you, she created you. And we can see her wonderfulness in you because you're an extension of her. So I'm thankful to know you and call you my friend and work with you on Debbie's team. So thank you for that. And you know what? You're right, Patrick. It's so important. And thank you, Debbie, for having Patrick spot today, because sometimes when we're going through things, we need to have our friends and our loved ones still support us and give us work to, whether it's reading a script or spotting or whatever, but we can, so that we can still keep going. Isn't that right, Deborah?
Well, it's not like we have any shortage of work. Patrick and I always have a ridiculously long list of things to do.
And
In fact, with my manager and I, we've been joking about it lately. There's only 3 things on my list. There's my first movie, my second movie, and my third movie. So it's a very short list. So I don't have to stress too much, just 3 things. But each one of those things is a million things, right? So yeah, we've got plenty of distractions around here. So yeah, Pat, anytime you're feeling you need to throw yourself into work, just let me know.
no problem. Yeah, no problem.
wonderful. And Deborah and Patrick, you're expanding your team, aren't you? Is that, can I just
Always expanding. It's exciting. We're about to take on a publicist, and I'm taking on an intern, and we just recently got a part-time social media person, and of course, there's my manager and a lawyer, and so the team's growing, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time. We got a lot going on.
I am thrilled to be a part of this journey with you, and I appreciate and value you both and Paul so very much. Thank you for including me. I love doing this. I need to keep doing it for my health because it's my passion and I love it, and I love all of you. So, okay, I did want to say, how can we watch Movie No Mountain? It's on Amazon UK and Amazon US, Amazon Prime. Is that right, Debbie?
It's on Amazon Prime, I think everywhere now, and Google Play, and it's on video on demand on YouTube, so you can rent it or purchase it on any one of those platforms, pretty much anywhere. And soon it will be out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Congratulations, Deborah.
Thank you.
And please, when you watch it, please buy it and then leave an honest review, because we appreciate each and every one of you who watches it and supports it. And please tell us how you feel. And because your opinion matters to us, right, Debbie? Right, Patrick?
Yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah, absolutely. Pat, take it away.
No, and we can take it. I mean, yeah, like I said, we don't want to have, yeah, just tell us what you feel, how we portray the city, how we portray the characters, what you thought of the film. Yeah, like I said, we can take it, and we
can take
we're just learning from experience.
No, I think reviews are great. They help other people make informed decisions, and I think in this day and age when there's so many choices, a lot of us rely on reviews. So I think it's great that all these websites, all these platforms where it's streaming, that you can leave reviews. I think that's great. So yeah, leave a nice review. Let us know what you think. We love reading them.
Wonderful. And with that, I did have another, pardon me, question about the movie. This is going back, this is a little bit analytical about your script writing when you were developing it. So Pat, I'd like your weigh in as well. When you wrote the script, Deborah, after it was done, did you find when you went to film it, did you need to change some of the scenes, like with lighting, depth of field, angle, height, reflections, noise pollution, story, any of that? And I'm going to ask you also, Pat. Debbie, Pat, whoever wants to go first.
Sure, I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, in post, some scenes ended up on the cutting room floor just because we didn't feel that it moved the story or that it wasn't as necessary, and also we changed some of the order of some of the sequences. And you know, when we were writing it, we were playing with that as well. We were constantly changing around some of the sequences and just playing with the best way for the story to unfold. And so yeah, it was just kind of the chronological order of events was played around with a little in post. But for the most part, I mean, it stuck to it, other than, like I said, a couple scenes that didn't make it.
Okay. And Pat, did you fight or hold on for some important scenes that you particularly loved, or what's your perspective on that?
Um, Deb wrote her story. I liked her story. It's her film. She would give me her ideas and bounce them off of me, and 7 times out of 10, they were great. But for the other 3 times, we would talk about it. But because she's also a masterful editor, so as you know, it's not chronological, our film, and the point is to show Jenna, our main character's progression, and sometimes you have to juxtapose that with something that happened in her past, or to reveal something at the right moment. So I was totally with mixing up the narrative timeline, and I think the way it turned out was the best possible outcome. So yeah, I didn't necessarily fight for any scene. I believe in it being a lean movie. We didn't want. I've seen so many movies where you watch the extras, deleted scenes, and you realize, oh my god, on a DVD. Thank God that didn't have to be in there. It would have just made the movie more bloated. And so I just love the way Deb too knew she wanted to streamline the story and get to the point, and I love that.
Would you say that you filmed twice the amount of footage, or what did you cut out? Did you cut out maybe 40% of it or 20%? What would you say?
Well, I mean, I think it was in terms of how many scenes we cut out. I think there was like maybe 3 short scenes that were a couple minutes each.
Okay.
And then as far as how much we shot versus how much we put in the final mix, I think it was pretty kind of. I mean, I kind of overshoot a little in general as a director, because I feel like when we're there, while we're there, we might as well shoot as much as we can.
Yeah.
And so I kind of overshoot, but I think I'm kind of in the kind of average gutter for like 6 takes on average.
Yes,
For,
yes.
6 takes per scene.
Okay.
Per setup, I mean. And then obviously use one take, but I think that's normal.
Yes, yes. I think that's a great answer. I want to shoot it over to Paul. Paul, you want to ask a bartending or alcohol question?
Yeah, that's my specialty. So thank you for for throwing that my way. No, are we able to talk about your new? You have a new project, maybe? Would that be okay, Debbie, to mention that?
Absolutely. We while we were in post-production of Move Me No Mountain, we shot our second feature film, which is a documentary called Shaken and Stirred, and that is now in post-production, and that comes out roughly this time next year. So it's about flair bartending, the bartenders that flip bottles. And we followed 3 bartenders from Las Vegas around for about 3-4 months as they got ready for this big competition in Florida. And then we went down to Florida and filmed the competition. And it's really exciting, and we can't wait to share it with the world. And again, show people another underground side of culture and of Las Vegas.
Wonderful. Well, I know that did you film at all at like say the D or Circa? Because I know that my friend well Derek Stevens, who owns the D and Golden Gate, he's big time into the flair bartender. So I don't know if you filmed there or had anything to do with them. But also, wait, you also have I don't think I knew this that you had a background in bartending. Is that kind of where the idea came up with? Sorry, it's like a two-part question,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, I'll let Pat talk about the locations. Where did we shoot, Pat? 'Cause we've shot all over the place, all over the country.
Yeah, we shot all over the country. Well, mainly in Florida and here, but we did shoot at the D. We did shoot at the Circa. Yeah, as you know, same management, same ownership, and one of our bartenders actually works at the D as a flair bartender, Lindsay Palumbo, and she teaches for women, uh, women only courses, the basics of flair bartending. So we shot one of her workshops over at the D, where yeah, that's where the workshops were. And we shot her performing and working at Circa at her station, and it was great. The people there, the ownership, the management, the marketing people were amazing. You know, we can't, Deb and I, we just can't have enough praise for how well we worked with them. And we weren't making too many demands, but they were. Sometimes you never know how people are going to react to when you're filming at their casino, but they were excellent. And we shot at Herbs and Rye. We shot at Fuel Bar on the Strip. A lot of places where,
Southern Wine and Spirits.
yeah, Southern Wine and Spirits, the largest liquor distributor here. So it's like another Las Vegas film in a way.
And Resorts World as well.
In Resorts World, yeah, Carver's Steak at Resorts World. And we also filmed many famous past champion flair bartenders, some of whom still live in Las Vegas and some of whom have moved away, but we filmed them in Florida. And it's actually I can't wait for people to see this film.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I'm so excited about that because it's also great to see that that one of your leads or one of your subjects there is Lindsay, a female flair bartender, because you don't, I feel, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you don't tend to see many women flair bartenders. So I hope that there's more and more now, and maybe even more so once they see people get inspired by art and things like that, so that when they see your film, maybe it'll even open it up to more female bartenders. Flair bartenders.
I have a strong feeling this film is going to inspire and influence a lot of people to start flipping bottles. I think when Cocktail came out in 1988, that had a huge impact on a lot of people that started flipping bottles, including myself back then. And I think this movie will really kind of bring a whole new renaissance for it. It's going to be really exciting to see the impact of this film.
And we actually interviewed
Amazing.
We actually interviewed John Bandy, the man who taught Tom Cruise and Brian Brown to flair in Cocktail. We went down to California, where he lives now, and filmed the interview, and he did a few tricks of himself, at his home bar. So we're really excited about this film.
Amazing. That is wonderful. And Debbie, do you want to share where you bartended? Now, did you do
sure,
any
yeah.
of the flair bartending yourself?
Yeah,
I are you able to flair?
Yeah. I competed about 50 times in 5 countries. I got about 3 world titles and 2 national. I used to be on TV every other month, A&E, MTV, Food Network, Fox, like all the time. I started one of the first flair bartending websites in the world ever. And I worked at Kahunaville at Treasure Island. I owned the Red Room on Sahara, which was the only 24-hour flair bar in the world. And I was in charge of all the bars and bartenders at the Rio for a while. So I was also an ambassador for Smirnoff, Stolichnaya, Malibu, Cuervo, 1800, Bailey's. And I did a lot in the bartending world, and trained a lot of bartenders, did a lot of competitions. And ironically, it was because of all that that some friends of mine who are still in that world, they wanted to interview me about a year ago about my contributions to the bar world. And they were kind of curious about, what I've been up to the last 15 years in film. And it was from that interview and that conversation that I said, hey, look, we should make a documentary about this because we were all there. So that's how that came about. And so we've been shooting it for the last year, and we just got into post-production, and I can't wait for people to see Shaken and Stirred.
Oh, I cannot wait for it. And Patrick, can I ask you, and I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but are you in any way related to there's a famous Chicago family that I believe is an alcohol with, I believe, a very similar or the same last name that you have. Any relation there?
And they used to have the big distribution warehouse over on Cheyenne, and they still do, but they just changed the name like to American Beverage or something from my last name, my family name.
Are you holding out on me? Do you have like bags of family money from East Coast distribution company, Pat? What's going on here?
I wish. But here's the thing. Yes, distantly I am. The man who founded that beverage company was the brother of like my great grandfather, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. My side of the family stayed in Chicago. I believe they moved like to Kansas City and Chicago. I don't know the whole family history. So I am distantly related to that family, but
interesting.
Not enough to make phone calls.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get some of that family money to make more movies. Right on. So yeah, I was like, wait, Wirtz. It's such a famous and iconic, Chicago family. I didn't also. Is that where you grew up? Is that where
my dad grew up? Where my father
got it.
And his father and the father,
Sure.
Tell them where you grew up. It's so interesting. Pat, where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Bangkok, but I grew up in 4 different countries, Laos, Mauritania, Pakistan, and around the Washington, D.C. area before we moved here to Nevada when I was in junior high school. But
amazing. Did you pick up any other languages, whether it's
when I was young, I could speak Thai. I had decent knowledge of French because my sister went to a French school. But nowadays, I would say I can speak decent Spanish, I can speak decent French, and I can speak Thai in Thai restaurants.
He always does the ordering. I think it's so interesting that Pat and I were born the same year. We've been working together for like some 8 years now, and I too have moved around a lot when I was younger. I was born in England, but I grew up in Bahrain in the Middle East, then lived in England, then Paris, then Florida. So it's interesting that Pat and I, in some ways, are kindred spirits in terms of our, exposure at a young age to a lot of different cultures.
I love this. In a way, you're mirrors. What do you say, Paul? Do you think they're a little bit? Well, we're all mirrors, aren't we, of each other? But that's so cool, isn't it?
I'm the evil twin.
Oh, Debbie.
Well, there's also parallels there too, AJ, because you were born in England as well, were you not?
Yes, I was. I was born in Southampton, England. So again, I'm kindred sisters with
God save the king.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And now I have 2.2% Chinese dye. I don't know if that qualifies, Patrick, as Asian, but it might be, right?
It's not enough to do the ordering at the restaurant. We'll leave it to Pat, okay?
Yeah, my DNA says the same thing. I'm 2% Dai, which is a northern Thai tribe. Yeah, on the Chinese Thailand Myanmar border. So yeah, I'll include you. You're my sister too.
Yes, you're my brother. Thank you so much. I love that. That has healed me and made me whole now. Thank you both. Paul, we'd love to have you back. I think he's gone off for a moment, but
There he is.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, that was I love always love it when there's, connections like that. And I think I've mentioned this in another show where I did my DNA and I was so heartbroken because I have like zero Asian, and I always, have such a love for the culture, and people say that I have an Asian spirit. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but from studying martial arts to just enjoying the culture and the food and whatnot. But when I got my DNA test back, I was like, and then I have an epicanthal fold, so it looks almost somewhat Asian. But when my DNA came back, it was zero, and I was so sad. There was more Welsh than Asian. So
I did
but
one of those DNA tests and it came back as 1% Cameroon.
Oh,
wow, interesting. I think I had like 1% also somewhere, in Africa as well. Amazing. But I always love that when I guess kids, being exposed to different cultures and different languages. I think just I'm trying to become a polyglot. And I've been studying, besides speaking English and Spanish, pretty fluent. I've been studying Italian and Russian and now Portuguese. So yeah, it's I think it just lends so much when you're able to be multilingual, and it just makes the world a smaller place, which I think also benefits all these stories that we're trying to tell as actors and filmmakers and writers. So yeah, Patrick and Debbie, I would love to have you guys on Paul Votto Presents, my podcast as well, where we can explore those culture clash type stories.
We'd be happy to. We'd be happy.
I see AJ doing her happy dance there.
yes, I'm always happy when Paul says that because it's a compliment to me that I've done the very best in booking the special VIPs, and you definitely both qualify. You're just way up.
Aw.
So thank you. I do have another question about film. I know, I believe that Shaken and Stirred would be all real footage. Is that right?
All real footage as opposed to,
As opposed to, acted footage.
oh yeah, there's no scene recreations, it's all cinema verite.
Okay, so with that having all real footage, how much real footage was in Move Me No Mountain, or was it a combination? Debbie, Patrick, take it away.
I don't know what you mean by like as opposed to like in movie, like what do you mean like real footage as opposed to not real footage? I'm not sure I understand.
Did you use any, did you go into a casino and just film regular people? You know how some Vittorio De Sica did in The Bicycle Thief. He used regular people who weren't actors, but they did a good job. They did a phenomenal job.
Gotcha. Actually, for the most part, like when you see background people in the movie, for the most part, that's actually crew. It's actually different people. Like Patrick's in the movie like 5 times in the background. I think you can see my bum in it in the corner of one shot, but most of the time it's like whoever's free. It's like we push them in the background and we're like, hey, you be background.
Now, nowadays it's a little bit different than Vittorio De Sica was doing it, where particularly in the U.S., where having your likeness on a commercial product like a film, you could be sued, and it's just a major issue. So, yeah, any likeness you see on screen of a person's face, they're either someone we hired as part of the cast, or background characters as part of the crew. Hey, sound guy, Edgar, you want to walk in the background over there, and in fact, Debbie, because she's a master VFX artist, she spent a lot of time taking people out of the background where we were filming, just because of that. You'd be amazed how much VFX is in Movie No Mountain, where maybe there was a family in the back of the ground having a picnic at a park where we shot in the park, and that Deb just digitally took them out and you would not even notice. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of invisible VFX in the movie, which is it's satisfying to watch, but it's always like it's one of those things that you never got credit for because you don't see it. You know, it's like the person with the boom mic. They get shouted if the boom mic gets into frame. But when it's out of frame, no one ever applauses or gives them any credit for not running the shot.
How many hours do you think it took you, Debbie, to take out all of those people? So this is fascinating to me. So how many hours would you say, or how many months?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, it was in post-production for roughly for about a year, roughly. Um, and you know, I was doing other things during that year as well, you know, shooting TV commercials and doing festivals and shooting another movie. So it's really hard to say how many hours,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, there were blocks of
Lot.
there were blocks of months where I was doing 10 hours a day.
Wow.
You know, and I think there was a couple blocks like that. So whatever that is, a lot, you know, it was a year
Yes.
of work.
So this is fascinating to me because I always think people like to know behind the scenes, the technical aspects of it. And just like black and white films of the past, and then now today with color and sound, I wanted to ask you and Patrick, would you ever want to go back in time and do a silent movie or a movie with subtitles or a black and white period piece, a hat movie?
Pat, would you?
Um, it would have to be based on the script of the story, if it's appropriate. Some of the most beautiful films have been shot in black and white, as you know, classic films. So it would have to be appropriate for the story. And of course, some of my favorite films are French, Japanese, Italian, all over the world. There's a great cinematic history. And so, yeah, I would love to be involved if it was the right project. If I understand enough basic French or Spanish, I think I could be on one of those productions. Yeah, it would depend on the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think technique follows concept, right? So it's like, hey, we have a concept to say this, and the best way to enforce to reinforce that in subtext would be to do it in black and white, or to do it in French, or to do it in, so the technique of the making of the sausage comes after the concept of what kind of sausage it's going to be.
Yes. So when you do something like that, let's just go hypothetically there. That goes into international waters, if you will, with different countries. Do you have to have permission from them as well, or how would you make that? Would you go there? Would you, or make it all here in America? Debbie?
Everything starts with the screenplay. From that, that's a blueprint. It's like a blueprint for building a house, and every screenplay is different. So every house is different in the movie world, right? Every
Mhm.
movie is different. So every you got to start with the screenplay and see what is in service of the story. If it's in service of the story and it makes sense to shoot it here, then so be it. But if it's in service of the story and it makes sense to shoot it somewhere else because of tax benefits or incentives or locations or opportunities, then I mean, say if the script is all about shooting a movie in the ocean, well, you're not going to go to Africa to shoot that. So it all starts with the screenplay.
Right, right. Paul, over to you.
Is my mic off? Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, I would love to. I hope we get to work together one day, Patrick and Debbie, because I love your work and being here in Vegas. So let me know if you ever need help, even if whether it's crew, because it takes a village to make a movie. It takes everybody, and we sometimes just get to see the finished product, like I did at your premiere, and it was wonderful. It's like, oh my God, look at all these people come together to make this project work. But any other exciting things that you have coming up besides the Flair bartending movie? And is there anything that we should be on the
Oh,
lookout for, or what's coming
sure.
up?
We're in development of our third movie together, which is a horror film called Scissormouth. And we're shooting that in March next year, and that's due out Halloween next year. So that's very exciting.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I would love to audition for it.
Okay, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's any casting parts for Paul, he can play a variety of roles, I'm sure. Not just comedian, because he's also a serious actor as well. Isn't that right, Paul?
100%. I mean, they don't just let anyone on the set of a famous soap opera like The Bold and the Beautiful.
Well,
I figure,
just so you know,
yeah.
Paul, like Pat has a lot of sway in the casting department, so you might want to send him some of your amazing world famous cigars to sweeten the deal.
I will absolutely do that. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I love it.
I
Love
cannot be
that.
bribed. I cannot be bribed.
This is how it works in Hollywood. You give him cigars, you got the part.
I love it.
I was gonna say, Pat, what flavor do you like, or can you tell Paul what kind you like?
Oh, personally, I like it on the mild side, but like I say, I've been thinking of giving some out as gifts.
Mhm.
People who like it hard, really strong, a sort of earthy taste to them,
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you have like a variety, and you're telling
We,
me.
we do. Like for you, I would recommend our Las Vegas blend, which is mild but very flavorful. And then you just, tell me what's your favorite style or size, whether it's a Churchill, which is a very traditional, or Torpedo, or Robusto, which is a shorter one.
I
And
love
then
all these
our Aloha blend is our Maduro. That's that really dark wrapper. It's almost like a light beer versus a Guinness, and of course I could talk about this for hours. So I'll send you our blend description, and then you can kind of read it over and go like, "Ooh, this is what I'd like for me," or a variety pack, 3 cigars or 5 cigars, 5 different, for 5 different people. We can mix and match. And I can't remember if I actually brought my 18-inch cigar. I don't think I did, but we make one called the All In. It's an 18-inch cigar. So yes,
I would have remembered that. Yeah, no.
I'll have to send you a photo of that as well.
Oh, there you go. AJ's got the cigar. She's repping all the brands tonight.
Yay! Product placement, Vato Cigars.
Love it.
And this one I'll always keep in treasure because it's my show cigar, and it's got the beautiful label on it. And
Look
Paul
at that.
handed this to me. Go ahead, Deborah. Sorry. Yeah.
I was saying, look at that. It's so pretty.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I
Thank you.
treasure it. So this is wonderful. So I did want to now ask, is there anything else that you wanted to give a shout out to, promote, thank, or talk about that's important to you during this time? It could be a world issue or anything. Take it away, Debbie.
Oh wow, I'm on the spot.
Okay,
A
how about
world issue. Be nice to each other and be nice to doggies. That's it. That's it.
that's it.
Honestly, I wish I had something wise and prophetic to say, but I'm just so in the weeds with shooting and post-production and development and promoting and doing all the things of being a film director
Yeah.
that I'm not even I'm a little bit blinkered right now. I'm not even sure what's going on in the world. I'm like so tunnel vision with what we got to do. But as far as promoting things, please go and check out Movie No Mountain on Amazon Prime, out now on Google Play and YouTube as well. Leave an honest review. Let us know what you think. And yeah, just thank you, AJ, for creating the space, and thank you, Paul, for having us. And thank you to everyone who supports us and likes all our social medias and watches all our films and all the amazing support we've been getting from around the world and all the interviews that I've been doing recently. And I'm really blessed and so grateful for all these opportunities. And I'm really grateful to my partner here, Patrick, for putting up with my nonsense for years and being an amazing creative collaborator and and partner and supporter. So that's all I got.
Perfect. It's perfect what you said, and I love that. And Patrick, over to you. Anyone you want to give a shout out or thank you to?
Well, thank you, AJ. Thank you, Paul, for having us. I enjoyed your interview with Deb last time. I thought it was really great. And yeah, all the people who are having us now on their shows and interviewing Deb and myself sometimes, it's like, thank you. I mean, really appreciate it. Of course, I want to thank Deb for being, I don't want to say, I don't want to, you know how I feel about you. And I just think you're an amazing artist and VFX artist, editor, cinematographer, director, writer. I mean, she's really an all around filmmaker. And if she can't get it done, she'll find a way to do it. And I really love that about her, and I admire that about her. And I just want to check out our 1905 Films, 1905 Films, our YouTube channel. You can see some of our award-winning shorts. 1905 is the year Las Vegas was created. So yeah, so another Las Vegas connection there. And we're on IG, we're on Facebook, social media, we're on Twitter now. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can follow us. And thank you everyone who's loved any of our films.
Click and subscribe.
Click and subscribe. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. And also, Patrick, that was wonderful. What you said, I adored that. And Paul, over to you.
No, that's another great Vegas connection. I love the fact that you named your company 1905 because there is such history with Vegas being founded in 1905. The first casino, 1906, which is now the Golden Gate casino. Funny story, their phone number, when phones finally were invented, their phone number used to be 1. So you would dial 1 and you would get the Golden Gate casino. But that's wonderful. That's another great homage to our great state and city of Las Vegas. So that's amazing. You guys named it 1905. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. And another, I think it's just such great guests, AJ. So thank you. And please, anyone that wants to follow me, you can just go over to paulvatto.com. And then from there, you can see all the things that I'm involved with, whether it's my podcast, Paul Vatto Presents, or my book, which is also on Amazon, Kama Sucia, which is literally translated means the filthy bed. And it's just a funny parody sex guide. And yeah, but it's all there. If you just go to paulvatto.com and like Debbie said, click, follow, support. That's how, exactly. I don't know where it's going to be, but click, follow, support, follow us, click on another video, click on another podcast. So thank you. And thank you guys so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
I love this so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Deborah. You are, just like Patrick said, you are amazing and you inspire me. I look up to you and I'm so thankful and grateful every day to be working with you and on your team. You mean a lot to me and Jeff, and we love you. And also the same for you, Patrick. You're an accomplished and established producer and director. You're an incredible businessman and professional. And we just appreciate working with you. You're just absolutely top class and we love you. So thank you. Thank you so much for what you do and who you are, Patrick. Yes, and Paul, I've said this before, but you really are the best co-host. You rescued me when I needed a partner and a co-host to start this show, and I just want to give you credit and say thank you so much. Oh, look at Debbie. She's got her angel halo on. I love it. Yes, Debbie. Yes, you are just adjusting it perfectly. It is perfect, don't you?
Well, it is Good Friday that we're filming this on, so very appropriate, Debbie. Very appropriate.
Well, you guys were giving me such a big head with all the compliments that I thought I should dust this off and bring it out.
Why not? Why not? And I do want to say happy Easter to everybody. Happy Passover, happy Holy Week, or whatever you celebrate this week. And we ask convey blessings over you and your family and all good things and energy towards you. We hope the rest of this year is phenomenal and wonderful. And I do want to say one thing before I say goodbye. I want to say there's some famous filmmaker, I can't remember who it was, but he said, do filmmaking and art above all, because that is the most important thing, to do art and filmmaking. So I just want to say, leave those words. I'm kind of misquoting, so please forgive me, but those are my own words, I guess, mixed up with the original quote. Someone will know, right? Does anybody?
I love the sentiment, though. I love the sentiment. I mean, it's what we strive always for. It's we try to make cinema. We're not trying to make movies. We're trying to make cinema.
Yes, Debbie, you got it. You got it to my heart. Exactly. Thank you. And I feel that from all of you. So on that note, let's continue to make a cinema and film and enjoy it and enjoy that art. And until we meet again, au revoir. And until next time, arrivederci.
Ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao for now. It's good.